If there is one objective truth in the world, it's that Hoyoverse music is elite. Regardless of how you feel about their games, their music is just amazing. What makes Zenless stand out from its sister games are its EPs. These EPs are some of the best marketing for the game, but they aren't just fun, catchy songs, they're also some of the best storytelling that Zenless has ever done. They capture what makes the world of Zenless Zone Zero so special. In less than 5 minutes, they're able to give us a good look at who these characters are and what their deal is. Currently there are 24 EPs, and I want to talk about all the cool details that I found in each one. You'll understand why these EPs and why Zenless Zone Zero is so special. Ellen's EP is about what she values the most, which are her friends. She has to balance her responsibilities as a holo investigator and being a student. Sometimes she just wants to relax and eat sweets with her friends like a normal teenager. This EP also shows how she met her friends. Ellen in the beginning is by herself, bored out of her mind, just watching the clock tick away. She has a preset routine. She goes to school, then to work, and then to sleep. But one night, as Ellen was scrolling on social media, she liked a classmate's post as she was falling asleep. Obviously her classmates noticed and they started to hang out with her. You can see how she has her own friends and is happier now. All it took was for a hand to reach out to her, and you can see how she was able to create so many memories with them. I love this montage that shows that her friends are around her desk, then we see her creating even more bonds with Victoria Housekeeping. It's completely different to how she was in the beginning of the EP. Then to really hit us in the feels, we see her with her younger self as her friends fill in the frame. I think it's also implied that Ellen might have grown up as an orphan because we see the shot with her in the holo by herself. And just like how her friends reach out a hand to her, Ellen does the same to her younger self. It's as if she's reaching out to her younger self to tell her that things are going to be okay, that she's going to find friends, and that she's going to find people that understand and care about her. It's just a beautiful moment overall. You can even see how the aspect ratio gets wider as she creates these bonds and is less alone. The world is quite literally opening up to her. Using aspect ratios as a method for storytelling is going to be used again in another EP later, and honestly Zenless does it a lot. This music video set the tone, and it would only get better. Lucia's EP is my favorite. I have listened to the song so many times. Hiking to the song, I don't even know how to describe it. It just feels magical, mystical even. This EP nails everything I want in an EP. It's catchy, has good visual storytelling, and it gives us insight on the character. Lore-wise, Lucia is very much an outsider. Her tribe, which is mostly or entirely goat Lyrans, were abandoned by Eridu during the Holo Zero disaster, which is why they live outside of the city. Also because ethereals ignore her tribe, the perception is that her tribe are monsters or that they can control ethereals, which is probably why this mom takes her daughter away in such a hurry. On top of that, Lucia has a fascination with ethereals, which makes her even more strange to people. That was a lot of context, but it matters because this song reflects Lucia's magical view of the world, and she's trying to find her place within it. She just wants to belong. This feeling of isolation is even felt in the section when she's walking alone in the city because she's the only one moving. It's why it's a nice moment at the end when she finds somebody that she can share her passion with. But the reason why this EP is my favorite is because of the last verse. If you listen closely, you can hear a male voice singing with her. That male voice represents her father. At the same time, she's walking past the father reading a bedtime story to his daughter. It's a really subtle look at the type of relationship that she probably had with her dad. It's possible that he read Lucia bedtime stories, which is what sparked Lucia's imagination and why the ethereals reference classic fairy tales in the beginning. The lyrics are also a nod to Lucia's arc in the main story. Her dad was part of the defense force, but he had to leave, so he played hide and seek with her as a way for him to leave secretly. He died in battle and became an ethereal. These lyrics are her processing her grief, which is why it sounds sadder compared to the rest of the upbeat song.
Run around and round we go, to the end I'll keep you close, I'll follow you, and be your shadow. Run around and round we go, count the stars and off you go. If I catch you, promise don't hide again, again.
It is just such a beautiful EP because there are so many layers to it. It's part of the reason why I made this video, because I just want to share how good it is. So DamiDami might be my favorite EP, but this is a close second. This is also the section where I yap about aspect ratios, because this EP uses aspect ratios for storytelling so nicely. This EP starts in a boxy aspect ratio because she's in this high society gathering and she feels confined and trapped. But when she leaves the building, the aspect ratio expands and there's just way more color. The blue sky dominates the shot, and if you compare it to the previous shot where the ceiling is lower, you can feel how she feels. What I like about Astra is that she is one of the most upbeat and positive characters in the game. You know how when you're walking in public listening to music and it feels like you're in your own world? That's how Astra feels the entire time. You can even see her enter her own world when the chorus starts. The aspect ratio even widens, which gives it a more cinematic feel and makes it feel larger than life. We can see how much Astra loves music and how it's part of why she loves life so much. Music is the equivalent of being at an amusement park for her. The song itself even has a romantic feeling to it. When the song reaches its climax, her voice and music is what brings light and colors into this dark sky. It is so easy to get swept up in the emotion of the song. Then of course, once we step back into reality, the aspect ratio changes one last time. Astra, just by being herself, brings joy to other people. Her passion is infectious. Then of course it ends with her driving with Eve into the sunset. To really drive the point home, even when Astra leaves the screen, she still brings one last flash of light into the darkness. Astra is a great character in Zenless, and she's one of my favorite Hoyoverse characters of all time. Now, you can't talk about Astra without Evelyn. While Astra's is more romantic and whimsical, Evelyn's EP is angsty and I love it. It's another EP that gives us more lore about this character, and it's just so good. It shows Eve's life before she started being Astra's bodyguard and how they became closer. This EP uses light to tell its story. At the start of the EP, Eve is constantly covered in shadows. Before being Astra's bodyguard, she was an assassin and spy for a mysterious organization. You can see how cold and dark her room is. I especially love how the knives are in the foreground because it gives Evelyn this sort of dangerous feeling to her. Something else that's important in this EP is food. Eve is not a good cook at first, which is something I like because it makes a lot of sense. When would Eve even have time to cook? For her, food is probably something she doesn't really think about because she only really needs it for energy. It's why I love that cooking is what brings her closer to Astra. Cooking for somebody else is a very loving act. It's a way of taking care of somebody. Astra cooking that meal for Eve was the first step to breaking down that emotional barrier. The first time that Eve cooks for Astra, it's not great, but Astra doesn't judge her. So when the montage of Eve getting better at cooking plays, we can see how much effort Eve puts into taking care of Astra. She even notes Astra's preferences. And because they get closer, we can see how Eve changes. First, those knives disappear. Now, Eve is still dangerous, obviously, but she's not just an assassin. Her room also fills with light and with sentimental gifts. This whole section is great because at the same time, Astra joins in the song, so Eve isn't alone anymore. Ending the EP with Evelyn entering the light, no longer running from the darkness because she sees Astra, is just perfect. What I wrote about this section doesn't matter. S-Rank Billy just got confirmed, baby. The economy is down, but Billy stocks are up. I refuse to be financially responsible. I am going to go broke for Billy.
I'll be the one who lights the flame.
Lighter's EP is pure adrenaline. I love how this EP showed how he became a top fighter in the outer ring. When Lighter was in his mercenary group, you can see how happy he was, not just by his expression, but also in the composition. There's a huge blue sky in the background with fluffy clouds. Even the beer is golden brown. These were some of Lighter's happiest moments. There's a real sense of freedom in his past. When shit goes bad, that color is gone. Instead of being surrounded by sky, he's in these industrial buildings and in fighting rings. To help take care of the crew's families, Lighter decided to take a massive loan and went into debt, which is how he ended up being a prize fighter. He's trapped. The only things that have color are the red blood from his enemies and the bright yellow from the lemon candies, which is one of the only connections he has left with his old friends. This man is going through it. But there's a real sense of victory when Lighter gets up and beats his opponent.
Don't say that, you gotta get in their head. Knock it down with a count of left. Inhale,
You can't tell me that this part isn't sick as hell. Lighter is just that guy.
3, 2, 1, fire!
I guarantee you that there are people that know Bernice but do not know Zenless Zone Zero. That is how popular her EP is. Bernice's lore could fit on a post-it note, and that is the beauty of her character. The only things you need to know about Bernice is that she loves her friends, nitro fuel, and fire. She's really friendly, but she can and will mess you up. Her EP is about partying with as many people as she can and drink nitro fuel. That is it. Her lore may not be deep, but she is still one of the most iconic characters from Hoyoverse overall. The best part about her EP is that it united all parts of the Hoyoverse fandom. Both Boothill and Hu Tao's VA joined in on the fun and did their own covers. It was such a special moment, and it's all because of our favorite party girl arsonist.
Drop the beat, I feel like a roller coaster going.
Pinking is a song that is unironically in my gym playlist. It's cute and catchy and shows us a different side of Caesar. I don't think anybody expected this biker gang leader to be a huge dork when she's reading romance manga. She might not be the most educated person, but reading manga still counts as reading in my book. Self-inserting herself as the protagonist is just real as hell, and the shoujo style with these detailed eye shots just makes me wish this was a real manga. It's a sugary sweet song that is just so addictive. It scratches the right part of my brain.
翼を広げ届け無限に続く空へ
I really like how they showed Scaramouche's backstory in the form of a child's storybook. Him being portrayed as a cat trying to be loved by others is an easy way to show his vulnerability. Oh, my bad, wrong game. I really loved how they showed Haramasa's backstory in the form of a child's storybook. It's really crazy that Hoyoverse thought they could just create another character that was abandoned, experimented on, left searching for a place to belong, before being abandoned again. Like, it really is that easy to make a fan favorite character. Well, they're right, because it really is that easy. Obviously, this is a very superficial comparison because they are two very different characters, but Hoyoverse really loves sad boys and cats. Everything you need to know about Haramasa's internal struggle is in this EP. The lyrics and the video show how Haramasa has this negative perception of himself. Due to his condition, he could turn into an ethereal at any point and is afraid of being seen as a monster. I also love the emotion that the singer has when the hourglass is running out and Harumasa's true self is revealed.
これからもきっとずっと変わらないと信じたいけれど
He's scared that people are going to leave him again, only to reveal that he found people that truly care about him. It's short, but we do get a sense of the relationship he has with the other members of Section 6. He trains with Miyabi, shares food with Sukaku, and works hard when Yanagi is watching. It's a full arc. Having Haramasa express himself with a story adds an interesting dimension to his character because it feels like a connection to a childhood that he was never allowed to have. We can also see Cat Haramasa be more confident in himself and have a healthier self-image. And to really drive home that ethos, Sukaku says this.
Don't be scared, Wildflower. Everyone loves you.
That is a smile that we need to protect. Haramasa really is one of Zenless's best characters.
人生で得るのは感じ取ったすべてのもの
Yanagi's EP sounds like the ending song to a secret anime gem. Rest a While is another music video that shows us the more down-to-earth side of Zenless Zone Zero. Yanagi is constantly stressed. She's a working mom with 3 kids to look after. She needs this. But seriously, this whole EP is about Yanagi taking a well-needed break after working. For Yanagi, she doesn't need anything fancy or extravagant. She's satisfied with the ordinary things in life. This EP captures how beautiful the mundane part of life can be. I also like how it shows Yanagi being a little bit childish, like when she's trying to stay on the yellow line. That, or she's just drunk. Ending it with her and Sukaku is just the perfect ending.
雲をたたしはやがて
Miyabi's music video is gorgeous. It's also an extension of her animated short. It shows how she handled her grief and how she officially became Taylor's master. Throughout the video, Miyabi is followed by this eye, which represents Taylor, the spirit that lives in her cursed blade. The night that she first used the sword is something that haunts her, and she hasn't faced properly. As a child, Miyabi wanted to be a hero to fight the bad guys, which is a really cute moment, but in her EP, she experiences all the destruction from the Hollows. New Eridu is completely devastated. People are displaced and children have lost their parents. This is the moment when Miyabi realizes that being a hero is more than just fighting bad guys, it's about protecting the people. This realization is when she's ready to confront her family sword. This is when the art style changes and we see the family history with this blade. Her ancestors before her have fought to control Talus. But the real emotional climax comes when Miyabi is drowning and losing the fight against her sword. But her mother comes in and that connection is what saves her and allows her to control Talus. The next time we see Talus, he's in a much smaller form compared to those big screens that we saw earlier. The section with her mother saving her from the grip of the abyss is just such a beautiful visual. Without a doubt, Miyabi is peak Zenless.
Life or death, I'm on my fate. Ma vie n'est que souffrance.
Ooh, oh my god, damn. I'm so sorry. I just want to say Hoyoverse didn't need to give us so many app shots, but I'm so glad they did. That's what I'm talking about, equal opportunity fan service. Now, I'm gonna sound like a broken record, but Hugo's EP is so aesthetic. It is full of imagery that gives us a good look at who Hugo is as a character. Hugo is the Zenless poster child for somebody fighting their own demons. He's an illegitimate child of a prestigious family and was tormented by his entire family except for his half-sister Serena, which we can see looks a lot like Vivian. We see some of the happy memories of the two that they shared together until she died, and Hugo took the blame for it. Without Serena, the abuse Hugo suffered was too much and he ran away from home and found Jack and Lycaon. He was so desperate, it looks like he ran through a hollow just to escape. And this is where we see a duality to Hugo. On one hand, he wants to be this noble hero for society, but there's a part of him that is still haunted by his family heritage, and he wants revenge. When he hears Jack tell Lycaon to be careful because Hugo inherited the seed of evil, it's really painful to him.
The curse that flowed through his lineage, a curse that fate branded him with. He's inherited the seed of evil. Lycaon, if it ever comes down to it, you must be the one.
It reinforces this idea that he's a cursed child. The EP even shows that he feels like a puppet that can't escape fate. And this is where Hugo confronts himself and his arc comes to a close because he fights against his nature. And yes, every app shot was necessary. It's about moving on from his past or something, I don't know. Themes and such. Juian is the most normal character in Zenless, and I love her for it. Juian's EP represents a time when Zenless felt more down to earth. In a game with Phantom Thieves, Chosen Ones, and arguably straight up magic, it's nice to have a character who, by comparison, is just a regular person. She has an interesting personality without needing to be overly tropey. Juian's struggle being a workaholic is relatable because I know people like this in real life. It's much easier to connect with her. I also like how she has a connection with her parents because a lot of characters in Hoyoverse games, or media in general, don't feature characters with parents. A lot of characters are orphans or they're estranged from their parents. It's especially rare for characters that have both parents. And that's a shame because showing a character's connection with their parents adds more dimensions to them. Juian is a special character that stands out in the sea of Hoyoverse characters. Now I'll be back, I gotta call my parents. So, Ching Yi's EP is also a bit of a tearjerker. Aesthetically, this EP is great. The song is about Ching Yi's struggle with her identity. We know that the technology that made Ching Yi was created way back during the old civilization, and that she was reverse engineered by the White Star Institute. Ching Yi isn't even a name that she chose. It's a name that was written by accident by the person registering her. It makes complete sense that she has identity issues. Now, I don't believe that the EP is literal. I don't believe she was around during feudal times. I think this is more of a metaphorical way of showing how old she is and how she's always been fighting. There is some speculation that Ching Yi might have been human at one point, but her mind was transferred into an automaton. But honestly, there isn't that much evidence to support it. There's a loneliness to Ching Yi, and that's why she values Juian so much. Being Juian's partner makes it feel like she has a place where she belongs. Like I said, this EP is gorgeous. I need this as a Ching Yi skin, but Hoyoverse are cowards. Tiny Giant is a really funny one because I didn't expect a kinda K-pop song for Xiao. I say kinda K-pop even though there's zero Korean in the lyrics because the writer Ashley Alicia has written for K-pop groups like ITZY and Red Velvet. Please comment below if you know who those groups are. I will be very disappointed if you don't. She is a tried and true professional, and it shows because this song is so damn catchy. It has good animation, it gives insight of the character, and it's just sonically pleasing. It's a song about Xiao projecting her self-image. This is how she wants to be seen. She's tiny but mighty. It's also a reflection of her desire to be praised. She sees herself as somebody that is beloved by her co-workers and the general public, and not a cold-blooded tops agent. She's always trying to prove herself because her parents abandoned her because they saw her as worthless. It also doesn't help that she was born without any special abilities, so she has to work harder. This feeling is clearly conveyed during the bridge.
Cause someday you'll see me the way I see me, behind the glitter and the love you gave me.
It's a good EP all around. I especially love Damien dancing and seeing Nicole picking up money. It honestly did his job because I like Xiao even more.
坚强往火造，心机成不知不着，多少名医随便就好，日啖100把杀。
I'm gonna be honest with you, there isn't really much for me to analyze for Fufu's EP. It's a fun EP about her desire to be seen as a fierce fighter. She's a tiger Thyron, but a lot of people confuse her for a cat Thyron. This juxtaposition is how we get these truly funny shots of Fufu. Her EP is full of Hong Kong movie references like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, The Way of the Dragon, and way more that I probably don't even know about. My favorite one is this reference to Kung Fu Hustle. I freaking love that movie. Zenless is the most comedic Hoyo game, and I love when they lean into it. There are so many colors and so many references, like Lo-Fi Girl, Astra Xiao, Bernice, and it is just truly overwhelming. It really captures her mischievous nature. She really just wants to play pranks on her friends and have fun. This is her world and we are living in it. But besides the chaos, we also get a genuinely true moment of sincerity with her and Alice. We then see the two as children walking in front of a dark background with chalk drawings. If you've played the chapter, then you know exactly what these images mean. The bird in a cage and various medical images represent Yuzawa's past. She was being experimented on when she was a child. We even see her wearing a hospital gown. But when they move forward and grow up, Alice and Yuzawa become close friends, and they're surrounded by light. The raccoon and the bunny clearly represent Yuzawa and Alice respectively. There's Yuzawa's Sailor Boo hairpin in the middle that belonged to Alice, which is how they indirectly met. This pin once represented a burden to Yuzawa, but it has since become a symbol of their friendship and the future that they want to continue living together. Then from there we get references to the summer event, which was just a lot of fun, and it ends on a photo to commemorate her day with her closest friends. Good character, good EP, enough said.
Keep fighting to the end, I'm coming for you. One shot to burn it all down.
The Defensors has never had as much aura as they do in this EP. This song is pure hype and it just shows off how cool they are. The biggest mistake you can make is getting into a fight with them. There's a rage and angst in the song that's a reflection of Mage's anger after the fall of the Old Capital. From a lore perspective, we can see how Obo Squad was formed. For context, Orphe and Magus are two halves of the same person. Orphe is the clone of the original Orpheus, and Magus is Orpheus's mind. We can see Orpheus being transferred into Magus, and we can see her being attached to her cloned body. It's honestly a really trippy concept for a character that's really cool. We then see Orphe and Magus recruit the rest of Obo Squad like they're Nick Fury. What I'm curious about is how they recruited Soldier 11 because we know how Trigger joined, and we can see that Seed Senior and Seed Junior joined pretty early when they first met. But here we can see that Soldier 11 is in a really dark spot. The nods to Greek mythology is also nice, and the statues and the line about not turning back is a clear reference to Orpheus.
Keep my eyes on the target, no turning back, and you better believe.
What's interesting is when the song slows down and we get the shot with Orphe. Most of the EP is reds and blacks, but here it's dominated by blue and white. It's a massive contrast. The way I interpret it is that it's a moment of peace in between their constant battles. It doesn't even last that long because the chorus kicks back in and we get more awesome action shots. Obo Squad is elite. This EP is so simple, but it is just so hype, man. First off, turn on the subtitles because I have never seen stylized subtitles like this before on YouTube. I didn't even know that this was a thing you could do. Second, throat singing is just so cool. Hoyoverse has always been good about showcasing music, and this is the first time I've heard throat singing like this. The CGI is also just crazy. This is probably the most detailed animation that Zenless has done. Stuff like this is when I can see how much love and passion the creators have for Zenless's world. Zenless is by no means perfect, but there are times when you can just see how much care there is for it, and this EP is proof. It's not just style, but there's also substance, because it has one of the coolest potential lore drops in Zenless. Banwei was programmed originally to be a purge unit in destroying Miasma, which he did with deadly efficiency. After being broken in Lemnian Hollow, a sage from Marcel Group changed his programming and gave him new life. We can see the sage in his EP. People have speculated that this is Lady Sunbringer, one of the OG Void Hunters, which would be sick as hell. A lot of people, including myself, believe that the original Void Hunters were gone, but with how much Void Hunter lore we've been getting, Zenless is just getting more and more exciting. The song itself is about Banwei moving on from his past and finding inner peace. It's just so peak, man. I'm not gonna lie, did I expect a high school AU music video for Shing Wong? No. Does it fit her character? Kind of. Her whole character is about making memories with people she cares about and living a life that she wants. But the Ching Ming sword and the expectations that come with it make that complicated. The EP is a what-if scenario in a world without hollows. The high school setting is probably because that's a formative time of your life and a coming of age where you make a lot of your core memories. Also, high school and college are usually romanticized as the pinnacle of youth because you're free before having to deal with the realities of adulthood. During this time, you have very little responsibilities. It's also reinforced by the fact that the EP starts off in springtime, which at least I'm pretty sure it is because it's raining and it's warm and the plants are green. Spring is seen as the season of youth. This whole EP is about Shing Wong looking back at her memories after she had left the school. This is why there's a white vignette around some of the memories. In the EP, we get all the romantic drama tropes. There's the meet cute, the festival, desk by the window, all of it. The seasons change, and instead of Shing Wong losing her memories from the Ching Ming sword, we see Shing Wong transferring schools and leaving her life behind, but just like how the proxy saved Shing Wong in the main story, Wise tracks her down and finds her, which is why the EP ends with her smiling, which, I mean, are we surprised, is with Shing Wong in every trailer. Overall, the EP is fine. It's a nice ballad, there are cute moments, I really can't complain about it. Okay, so the Angels of Delusion have 4 total EPs. I like that they're all different styles of music and animation, so I'm going to talk about them individually, but they'll be combined into one big section. Redreaming Angel is a song about doing your best to achieve your dreams. It's about the girls trying to become idols. In some ways, chasing your dreams can be delusional because the odds of you succeeding are very low, but it's still worth trying. The ending is symbolic of how even when everything around you is going wrong, you can still stay strong and handle business to achieve those dreams. In the EP, we see the girls being delayed, which is poking fun at the devs. There's also references to Icarus when they fly too close to the sun. There's even a storm that is so strong it blows away the aspect ratio. Life is always going to throw hardships your way, but you gotta recover and keep moving forward. In a broader sense, in the context of Zenless Zone Zero, the world of Zenless is slowly being devoured by hollows, and the concept of hope might seem crazy, but it still exists in the world. It also helps to be a little bit delusional.
就让我播下所有的情话，用音符给回忆上色，你会发现。
Turn Heartbeats into Tempo is about Suna working hard and being stressed the hell out. Being the group's producer is tough and it gets overwhelming for her. The song title is Turn Heartbeats into Tempo because it's about Suna and the Angel of Delusion turning their passion for music into an actual song.
用音符给回忆上色，你会发现，和弦之间那些转折起起落落，公园的快乐，热爱都炙热，思绪翻涌着情绪而觉得。
By the end of the EP, she realizes that having fun making music with her friends is what keeps her centered. The feeling that she has with her friends is what she's trying to capture in the music. Trying to do this by herself is lonely and it doesn't work. But by making music with Arya and Nonglong, it gives Suna peace. Making music is so much easier with them and they create something beautiful. Angel Loading is Arya's EP, and it's about the girls figuring out how to manage the expectation of being idols, especially from the internet. The girls are working hard and hoping that their music reaches an audience, but it's tough because they just get hit by negativity. Yeah, not gonna lie, that shit sucks. What keeps them going is that they love performing with each other, and they do it for that one fan in the crowd. On social media, it's very easy to compare yourself to others and feel bad about yourself. But from my personal experience, If you're able to make something that resonates with just a handful of people, that is still a win. The important thing here is that the Angels of Delusion are not going to be perfect, but they keep going. Now, Nongwang's EP is interesting because it's about making memories with others. The memories that we make are something that stays with us throughout our lives. The aspect ratio and the way that it's shot gives a retro feel, which makes it feel nostalgic. It's like looking at an old Polaroid or a family video. It's not just memories themselves, it's also the people that you make those memories with. The singing voice of Arya left this very beautiful comment about how memories color our world and how the moment you realize you're not alone, everything starts to change. This is reflected in the lyrics as well. Then there's the message at the end. The way I interpret this is that life is not something that you're supposed to be experiencing alone. The world is a vast place, but when you find the right people, any dream is possible, both big and small. It's a beautiful, introspective song that honestly gives me a bit of optimism. I stand by the belief that these EPs are what make Zenless stand out. They capture what Zenless is all about. It's about finding people in your life that understand and care about you. It's about having the courage to take on a world that is so massive and doing it while having the time of your life. I love these EPs, I love Zenless's world, and I'll see you guys next time. It might be a week, it might be a year.